Hello, welcome to lesson 2 of how to use SketchUp. Today we will apply what we learned last time about how to use SketchUp by making a turtle sandbox. So our objectives of today are to apply basic 2D and 3D construction tools from last time, change views of the modeling space, use the paint tool to change colors and material, find and insert components to be used in a model, and save and name a file. So let's go ahead and do that. First, I'll show you what we're going to be making. Here is our turtle sandbox that we're going to make today. Now, after having gone through the first lesson, you might have bookmarked the app. So this, if you click on that bookmark, you should be taken to here. If not, you can go to SketchUp.com, go over to that little person up in the top right corner, log in if you need to, click on My Apps. There we go, and we'll scroll down and click on SketchUp for web launch. And then you'll be taken over to this. It'll load and then you'll get to this screen. So let's create a new file, create new, simple template feet and inches. There we go. And let's click on this person and then click on delete. So as a reminder, if you are using an actual physical mouse like this, the holding down the middle mouse key orbits. Scrolling using the middle mouse key zooms in and out, like I'm doing right now, and holding Shift and holding down on the middle mouse key allows us to pan. If you are using the touchpad on a laptop, like that, you'll hold down with 2 fingers, scroll in and out. You can type in the O key and then hold down on the left mouse button to orbit, and click on the H key and left click and hold to pan. I do recommend that you use an actual mouse. It makes things a lot easier. So here we go, and keep in mind for Mac users, anytime I say use the control key, most likely you're going to be using the command key instead. But let's get going. So let's change the view first. So over on the right, you should see a panel. And then this right here is the views button. So let's click on that. And here are the different views that you can have. Here we go. Click on each of these. You've got front view, top view. We're going to use the top view, and we're going to make a 2D sketch using that top view. Also, a good thing to keep open this instructor over here as you're learning, because this will help you with the different tools if you need that extra help. So let's go ahead and start drawing. Here we go. So let's start with a circle. Circle is along with this rectangle. Let's click there, and there's the circle. So click on your origin as the center of the circle. Move upward along the green axis and type in, for the radius, 3 and an apostrophe for feet, 3 feet radius. And you'll see that in the bottom right corner down here. So again, 3 feet and enter. Then we're going to make 4 legs. So we'll snap to the quadrants of this circle and make 9-inch radius circles. So clicking here, 9 inches. You can put in that quotation mark, or you can just put in 9. SketchUp will know that you're talking about inches if you just put in the number. So 9 inches, and we're going to do this 3 more times. Click, 9 inches, click, 9 inches, click, 9 inches. And the last circle we need to make is with a center right in between these circles. Click, and then snap over to the end, the edge of this circle. There we go, and that's the head of the turtle. So you can see in the finished product there are walls of the sandbox and an opening in the middle for the sand. So we'll make that, whoops, hold on a moment. Waiting for my, there we go. We'll click on the eraser tool and we'll start by erasing these curves right here. There. And then we'll go over and use the offset tool. So we'll be able to offset these walls inward and have a space for that sand. So that's over by the push-pull tool. Click on that, and then you see the offset tool right here. Click in this inner region. And there we go. We'll type in 6 inches, 6 or just 6, to make a 6-inch wall, thick wall. Now a little bit more erasing. Let's erase the curves around the legs and this curve inside the head. There we go. Now looking at the views again, you can click on a view that you like, or you can just orbit so that you're seeing a 3-dimensional view. That works. Up to you. Now let's do some extrusions using the push-pull tool. There it is. Let's start with this wall right here, this outer portion. Let's click that. And we'll make this 1 foot. So 12 inches, you can type in 12 and enter, or 1 apostrophe like I am right now and press enter. Let's work on the other ones. Well, let's try to extrude this head and see what happens. You can see, and I'm doing this to show you what happens here. Now it's hollow, which is not what we want. After you make an extrusion on a sketch in SketchUp, sometimes this will occur. You don't quite get the extrusion you want. So I'm going to do Control-Z. How do we deal with this? Well, you can see at the bottom here, it says Control, Toggle, Create New Starting Face. If needed, try that out. So I'm clicking on Control. You can see a plus appears next to my press-pull cursor that I'm moving around. Now let's try this. Click, scroll up. You can type in 1 foot, or you can click right on that surface. That's better. Now let's try this again. You can see I'm going to extrude this up 3 inches, but see that when I orbit to the bottom, that didn't quite do what I wanted. So I'm going to do Control-Z, orbit. I'm going to click on Control, and you can see the plus next to my push-pull cursor. And we'll click, and we'll go up 3 inches. And you can see this time, it actually did extrude the way that we wanted to. All right, there we go. That is most of it. So let's go ahead and try to apply some colors to it. Just to recap though, we started in the top view using the views, created a sketch, used the erase tool and offset tool to try to get some curves away and define what the walls will be. And then we were able to use the push-pull command up and down, or just upward a certain amount. Now anyway, this paint bucket right here is where we get our materials from. If we click here on Browse, you can see a whole bunch of different categories for materials, all of which you can try out and see what there is. So, for example, brick. Here's some brick. And click where we want for brick. Or there's even glass and mirrors if we so wished. There we go. But what we want for right now is colors. Now, of course, a turtle is green. Let's find a green that you like. Any green that you want. I'm going to go with this one right here. And you can go ahead and click on all the faces, but of course that takes time. So what you can do is triple click. Click 3 times on a surface, on a face, and it should get almost all of the faces to be the color or material that you want. So 1, 2, 3. Nope, didn't work. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that one didn't work. So what we'll do, another way is to hold down Control. That was it. So don't triple click. I'm thinking of something else. Hold down Control, then click on a face. You can see the 3 dots show up this time next to the paint bucket. And then click. That's it. That got the whole shape green. Let's check the bottom. Oh, it didn't get everything. That happened. So we'll fill in those 2 shapes, but that saved a lot of time. Again, hold the Control key and click a face. Don't triple click. And then you'll get everything the color that you want. So that's enough of that. Let's close this out. Whoops. Let's try not to do that. There we go. Now another extrusion that we'll make, we'll use the push-pull, and we got to make some sand. So I'm going to pull or extrude this surface, but I don't want it to be this. I don't want to be extruding that the bottom of the sandbox. I want to be extruding a new face, making a new object. So I will click on the Control key. And you'll see the plus show up next to the press pull cursor icon, and then I'll click upward. It does look the same as before, but it is a new object. So for this, I'll make a 6-inch deep sand. So typing in 6 and enter. And now I will use the paint bucket to turn this into sand. Now this, after a while, it does take a while to get used to finding all the different materials. I will say that sand is under the landscaping category, and this is the sand right here. We'll click on that. You can even confirm at the top of the materials tab, ground, cover, sand, smooth, if you ever want to know what some of this material is. Anyway, I've selected sand, and I'll click right here. And there's the sand. Cool, so that's all the material that we need. I'll close that one out. And let's see what we want to do next. Let's look at the finished product. Here we go. So we have a smiley face. We have some toys here. We don't have to actually make those. And then we do need to, save so we can keep this. So let's make a face. How about we use the circle tool? Let's make some eyes. This doesn't have to be perfect at all. I'm making some eyes. Might try to snap a couple times. Whoops, that's not what I want. That's all right. Okay, those eyes aren't quite symmetric or congruent, but that's all right. I'm going to use the line tool to find the top of the mouth. Oh, the turtle doesn't look too happy right now. And I'll make an arc. I think 2-point arc is going to be the best. 1 point, 2 point, and then you define where the arc is going to go out. Right there. There, that looks a bit better. Oh, and actually, yes, we should use the paint bucket again. Select some colors. That would be, anything that you want to make the color, make the smiley face colorful. Red, and I like blue, so I'll use a blue for the eyes. There we go. That's a happy turtle. Okay, Now we don't need the materials anymore. So the last thing before we save our file is to see how we can insert objects like these. So of course you can make your own, but if you want to use someone else's, or if you're sharing with a friend, and this is a team project that you're working on, you can go over to components right here. Here's components. Click on that. Make sure this tab is selected, and you can search whatever you want to search for. So let's say I want to find a beach ball. There we go, we got a whole bunch of beach balls right here. And here, I'll select the first one, and it's a little bit big. Let's see how we can change the size of that. Or I'll set that down somewhere. I'll use this move tool, which is actually already selected. I'm gonna orbit downward and get to the bottom of this beach ball, select this point. So this is my reference point for moving. Oh, I've lost my turtle. There it is. Orbit and pan back up to the top, and I can click right on top of the sand to place that beach ball. Again, that beach ball is a little too big, so there is another tool in here. We have move, rotate, and scale. I'll click on scale and then scale this beach ball down, make it a little bit smaller. Oh, keep going a bit smaller. That's better. Now I'll use the move tool. Try to move this. There we go, right onto the sand. There we go. Cool. If you want to add anything else, I'd say let's add some beach toys. Here we go. Perfect. Got a bucket and a boat, and we can place that right into the sand. Oh, seems like I made a mistake with the beach ball. That's absolutely fine. I'll click on the move tool, click on the bottom of the beach ball as a reference point. See, this happens. I'm going to click escape. I selected the wrong object. So this will happen, especially as you're getting used to this program. I'm going to click on the select tool, select the beach ball. Now I'm actually going to be moving the correct object this time. There we go, there's the bottom, and I'll click right on the sand. That's much better. Anyway, there you go. There is your turtle sandbox. Looks a little bit silly, but still works out. And now let's finally save. So we'll title this. Oh, well, first you have to select a project. The default is SketchUp, so we'll just click in here. You can see I have a couple already. And we'll type in a model name. I suggest something that does match the model that you're making. We made a turtle sandbox, so name it Turtle Sandbox. And even put in your name. I highly suggest you put in your name so that you can take ownership for this. Then you'll click on save here. And that's that. So just to recap, we used the same 2D and 3D construction tools we did last time. We did get to see the offset tool and the scale tool as well. We changed the views, got to see the top view, other views, used the paint tool to change colors and materials, found and inserted components, and finally we saved and named a file. So, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.